Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Monday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios here in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. I'm your host, Sam Wu, going solo, flying solo tonight as the Devils lose to the New York Islanders 5-1 out in Belmont, New York. Not much to recap, really, but we will go over the game in about a couple minutes. But, yeah, I'm seeing all the comments on the YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Facebook Live on social media. Keep the hits clean, folks. Wasn't pretty tonight. Was not pretty. It was very uninspired hockey, to be quite honest. And Mark Schaub says no sound on the broadcast. If you guys can hear me, let me know. This is what happens when you fly solo. Maybe you should turn on your volume, Mark. I don't know. The Insane Pollock says it's fine. Thank you. Thank you for the sound check. Thank you all. All right, so, well, I don't know what I can really say about this game, but let's go to the unhappy Devils recap as the Devils play the Islanders. Devils clinching last Saturday. We had celebrated through Sunday, yesterday. And, well, we knew this was a game, third game in 4 days that the Devils would be playing. But the Islanders were really a desperate team in the wild card hunt, trying to get themselves in the playoffs. If you're a Devils fan, you should be familiar with a Lou Lamoriello team. They look like a team that wanted to win. And let's recap this game. In the first period, tied 0-0. Pierre Engvall scored for the Islanders. 7 minutes and 37 seconds in the first period to give the Islanders a 1-0 lead off of a wrist shot on Vitek Vanacek. And I thought Vanacek early on, he was outstanding. It was definitely not his fault, but the Islanders take a 1-0 lead. It would remain that way heading into the second period. Devils on the penalty kill, and who else but Erik Haula, unassisted, scores his 9th goal of the season on the backhand, shorthanded goal, tied the game at 1-1. You know, you started to feel a little bit excited there. I mean, again, the Devils were really playing some uninspiring hockey. But an old New Jersey Devil, later in the period, Kyle Palmieri. And let me tell you what I have to say. Kyle Palmieri kind of I'll use a football analogy. You know when a quarterback scrambles and he has all the time in the world to pick and choose which wide receiver he wants to throw the football to? Well, Kyle Palmieri was able to take that puck in the high danger area, basically unscathed, and scored to give the Islanders a 2-1 lead. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. So the Islanders take a 2-1 lead going into the third period. Devils were getting their chances, but again, Kyle Palmieri again, late in the third period to make it 3-1. And then, you know what, I'm going to spare you Devils fans the unhappy Devils recap, because then the Islanders started to pour it on with some empty net goals. Bo Horvat, who really should be a New Jersey Devil, but made it 4-1. And then Zach Parisi scored his 21st goal. Make it 5-1 Islanders with a second left in the third period. 3 stars of the game. Kyle Palmieri, the first star. Ilya Sorokin, the second star. And the third star of the game, all from the Islanders, Pierre Engvall. Devils getting outshot by the Islanders 36-31. Face-offs, Islanders 58.5% of the face-offs they won. Both teams were didn't score on the power play. Devils 0 for 2. Islanders 0 for 1. Islanders out-hit the Devils 24-13 and blocked 19 shots of New Jersey. But the Islanders had 13 giveaways. But that second period was very pathetic for the New Jersey Devils, getting outshot 17-8. 17-8. Not good. Doesn't look like a playoff caliber team, the New Jersey Devils, in this game. And I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to spin it. But honestly, it felt tonight, you kind of had, it was just a little bit of a letdown. You didn't think, did you really think the Devils could make that comeback tonight? It was just so uninspiring. And there's a lot of work to do. If this is what phase 2 is of Lindy Ruff's plan, it's off to a bad start. You got into the playoffs. Now you have to act like a playoff team. Total letdown. I did see a couple good things in this game. Kevin Ball, in particular, using his body. A couple big hits from Kevin Ball tonight, and I thought he was all right. Jack Hughes had a couple good moves here and there, but Timo Meier, again, I don't want to harp on him. He had some good looks. He had some good plays. And I'm sure the scoring will come at some point. But he's got to step it up. And he needs to put the puck in the back of the net. He is supposed to be the guy to do that. And it didn't happen tonight. And, of course, the Devils lost. Now, the game was a little bit closer, but it wasn't. Those 2 goals, it was really a 3-1. I mean, Palmieri should have never gotten that much room to operate in front of Vitek Vanacek. And the Devils need to clean this up before the playoffs. You are not going to survive round 1 in the playoffs, especially if you're going to play the New York Rangers, which this loss, the Devils aren't out of the running to capture the Metropolitan Division by any means. But this loss, this is a game that they really, should have won. The Road Warriors, well, hate to break it to you folks. They lost in Buffalo. They lost on Long Island. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 road trips. One's against Florida. They did beat Tampa. But Buffalo, and now tonight against the Islanders, not good. And the Devils have to play the New York Rangers on Thursday. We'll be at American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center, for Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. But I'll tell you, I like to hear what Lindy has to say after this game. And we'll get to your questions and comments. I see Supernova, Ramona. I picked a heck of a night to go solo with Devils After Dark. Scotty's out on assignment tonight. Well. So, but you got to give the Islanders some credit. I mean, Ilya Sorokin, he's the man. He's the man in net, and you know, he held the fort and gave his team a chance to win. And I thought Vitek Vanacek did too. I just don't think he got help from a lot of his teammates on a couple of those goals. Obviously, you can't blame him for those empty net goals, but the Islanders are a pretty gritty team. They've got elite goaltending. And what stings is Zach Parisi and Kyle Palmieri, former New Jersey Devils, were really, really, I don't know. Vinny Parisi saying that it was a very annoying loss. Yeah, it was annoying. You know what I'm really ticked off about? They just didn't have their legs tonight. They just didn't. They didn't want it as much as the Islanders did. Do you have any concerns? Now, Tomas Tatar, you know, they've got to really change the rules, in my opinion. I've been saying this over and over and over again. I don't care if there's intent. I don't care if, you know, I get it for player safety, kicking the puck into the net. But that was a hockey stop. And, again, when you review the video in slow motion, it almost tells a different story. But if you play it in real time, there was no way Tomas Tatar could process everything that's going on and just intentionally kick the puck in the back of the net. It was, again, it's one of these things where it can go either way, the way the league reviewed it. But it's starting to get really annoying, or it's been annoying for a while, that a lot of goals get called back when really the intent was not there. I believe Tomas Tatar but the Devils still trailed 2-1 after that and wasn't able to muster any more offense. JP says it was a kick. But, again, it's subjective. Well, just looking at Twitter right now. So it's going to be a short Devils After Dark because, I could be sitting here complaining. Errol says, don't get me started on the kicking motion, please. Supernova says, Sam, explain to me how this team does not have one steady line combo after an entire season. Well, you always want to try different things. I'm not worried about the line combinations right now. I'm actually worried about the defense. I am worried about the defense. But to answer your question, Supernova, injuries happen all the time. And great hockey teams know how to play with each other as a team, no matter who is on your line or your pairing. And you could go an entire season with, I don't know, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, and Timo Meier. Say you could go 81 games and never splitting up the line. And then somebody gets hurt. Well, what do you do then? I think it's imperative that the Devils try to figure out which players fit on which line. But the A-line, if you remember the A-line, I mean, that was a special line. And Lou had to split them up. Because it's really not about lines, it's about the team. And that's why, I mean, you think about it, I know a lot of fans criticized about it in the beginning of the year when Eric Holla was playing with Jack Hughes, but they seem to have good chemistry, together. I know. Too many chances F's up chemistry, says JP. I get it, but in Lindy we trust. But he is not as bad as John Hines when it was... Anytime a line combination was working, John Hines would just change it because it was working. I just never understood John Hines and his line changes. But, I'm not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. But Eric Holla, like I said before, and like I predicted, the closer we get to the playoffs and into the playoffs, you'll see a different Eric Holla. You'll see a different Andre Palat. But the Devils have a couple practices to get this thing figured out before they take on the New York Rangers, which is going to be an epic game. And it could have major consequences if the Devils lose against the Rangers in regulation at the Rock. Both the momentum, emotionally speaking, the psyche, because round one, home game one, may start it at Madison Square Garden. If the Rangers overtake the Devils. And there's a slight outside chance if the Rangers overtake the Hurricanes and the Devils face the Hurricanes in the first round. Either way, the Devils need to have the pedal to the metal, not like the performance tonight, which was, again, beating a dead horse. Hate to do this to you, but it was very uninspiring hockey at times. At times, a little boring. They need to do better. They need to play with more energy. Eric says, I'm hoping we play anyone but the Rangers at this point. Well, you know, I'm glad that the Devils are in the playoffs. JPS has Meyer messed up chemistry. It's hard to say, but I warned you. I warned you about this trade. I'm happy that Meyer's here. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't want the baggage that came with it, such as messing up the chemistry, all that stuff. But you know what? At the same time, that's kind of nonsense. Meyer's a good player, but he needs to play better. Art Heaton says, I'll be picking up my Rangers suck confetti at 8W Thursday night. Sure. Come on down to American Whiskey on Thursday night when the Devils take on the New York Rangers on Ranger Hate Day. Well, folks, not happy. After seeing Penn State lose to Michigan, watching Luke Hughes move on, delaying his arrival to New Jersey, and now this. The Devils just can't stop at 100 points. They need to be at 110 points or higher. But we'll see. Thank you, Ramona. Shane Van Sickle says, if Lindy is listening, stop filming with the team. Well, it was a very annoying loss. Manestein tweeted out, I think that she was quoting Lindy Ruff. Lindy Ruff said, quote, I think that we clinched the spot, and I don't know if our group dealt with that. It's a learning experience. You're excited about where you got to go, but you've got to put it away in a hurry, and I didn't think we put it away in a hurry. Completely agree with Lindy Ruff. This team needs a killer instinct. Play one game at a time, one shift at a time. The celebration of making the playoffs for the New Jersey Devils should have ended on Saturday night. But here's the good news. You got to right the ship. And I think the Devils are gonna have 2 hard practices. And Lindy Ruff, and the fans especially should remind the players in the locker room that you do not lose to the New York Rangers. If you're wearing a Devils uniform, you do not lose to the New York Rangers. I would hate to see a lackluster effort on Thursday night. Because I'll tell you, if they come out flat and had a second period like they did tonight, that can alter and change the entire season. They need to come out with energy. They need to come out attacking and not letting up. They should treat this as a Game 7 in the playoffs Thursday night. But here's the good news. I thought Vanecek played well. I thought he played well. But his team didn't. And that was the difference for tonight. I want to thank all those tuning in here on Devils After Dark. And, it's not easy. It is not easy to talk about this game because there was really nothing to talk about other than they reverted back to their old ways, getting schooled in the second period. The comeback kids, they try to muster up a comeback, but not even close. When you leave Palmieri wide open, unscathed, we're talking about Kyle Palmieri here. Decent player, but even then, he should not be left alone like that. You should put him on his back and clear that crease area. But the way he skated just around and around, he looked like Jack Hughes out there. Yeah, and Tony P says, I like how every player on the New York Islanders was getting into Vitek Vanecek with no calls. Yeah, again, I'm still confused about the goalie interference, the subjective officiating on it, but that's another story that's another discussion for another time. The Insane Pollock says, some of you need to chill, get off the ledge. I think we will be fine. This team bounces back. Of course they do. I'm not afraid. But I don't want to be there Thursday night watching the New York Ranger fans that have bought some of these tickets and get humiliated in our own building. That, I can tell you, is unacceptable. All right, folks. Well, I want to thank all those tuning in. It was a little bit abbreviated Devils After Dark. Scotty does it so well, so eloquently when he does the recap. I wish I could do a John Marino call, but you know what? We'll save it for another time. Dubs is he says, why are they going 11-7 now? I don't know. But are they trying to make some room for Luke Hughes? I don't know. But yeah. Rest up, Devils fans, because you got to bring your A game. The seventh skater must be alive and well. The New Jersey Devils fans at Prudential Center. Don't let this loss tear you down. Because on Friday, the water cooler talk will be at an all-new level when the Devils beat the Rangers on Thursday. Art Heaton, I'll see you at American Whiskey. I'll see you all at American Whiskey. Shorts Guy and I have got some fun stuff at American Whiskey on Thursday. We'll leave it at that. Amanda Stein tweeted out, Eric Holla, yeah, we got an X next to our name, but it's rah-rah. We've made the playoffs, but I've been in the playoffs every year, and I want to win. I want to do everything I can help our team to get a spot when we're ready to go when those games start. Eric Holla, just remember, you have veterans now that can make this right. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens on Thursday. And that will be the biggest test of the season thus far. Ted, I will be at American Whiskey Wednesday night setting up. So when I get out of work on Thursday, I am hightailing it over. And, yeah, I found the video of Madison Square Garden getting blown up. I think I'm going to put on the loop on the big screen TV over and over and over and over just to annoy Ranger fans. As much as this game was annoying, we're going to have to be like even more annoying like this game to New York Ranger fans. And it's going to be fun. All right, I swear to you, we're getting out of here. I'm going to hit the music before I keep on babbling. Babbling! I hope Scotty's proud of me. I hope he's proud of me. Cornhole, think positively. You better. All right, thank you, everybody. Dropping the podcast at midnight. For your morning and afternoon commute, we'll report tomorrow. Devils lose 5-1 to the Islanders. They're going to hit the reset button and try to beat those New York Rangers on Thursday. Till next time, let's go Devils.